Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby and your girl has a bun in the oven. Wait, let me show you the baby real quick. When I say my bump has popped, I mean this thing is going nuts. Look. Oh yeah. It's giving belly, okay? I am 20 weeks pregnant. I'm so excited. It's just so much going on right now. But we're not gonna talk about that yet. This is gonna be a really quick video. I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna let it all out. I'm just gonna let it all go. This is gonna be a very quick video regarding how I felt, my initial reactions, no holds barred, when I found out I was pregnant. So I made a video a couple weeks ago regarding my whole first trimester experience. I will link that video up here so you can watch that if you want to. But it was a tough time. It was a very tough time. But I didn't really talk about how I felt when I found out, because that was a whole nother thing within itself. So let's just get right on into it. So the story of how I found out is exactly like I said in that video, where I just basically took a test and that's what it was, and it was positive. But when you see that positive test, it's like all the blood in your body disappears. Like, I felt so numb. And my initial reaction, what I said out loud was, what the fuck? That's all I said, and I didn't say anything else. And I just started thinking, my mind started racing like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Now, let's get into what I actually thought. So, I'm not, too proud to say this, but all of my initial thoughts were 1000% selfish. I mean, 1,000,000% selfish. So I found out on March 1st that I was pregnant. My birthday is March 28th, so had about a month before my birthday. I was really looking forward to it. I did not have any plans or anything like that, but it's just like, birthday behavior, that's what we like to do. So March 1st, I find out I'm pregnant. My initial thoughts, I can't do anything for my birthday. I can't drink. I can't go anywhere. I'm probably going to be sick. It's not even worth doing this and that. I don't even want to tell anyone. It's going to be too early to tell people on my birthday and all that type of stuff, right? So my initial thoughts were for my birthday. And I was just bummed because my birthday was going to be pretty much different than any other birthday that I have had, because I'm knocked up. Like, I was knocked up, and that's just was what it was going to be. So I was definitely disappointed in that in the first place. That was initially the first thing that crossed my mind, and it just went downhill from there. So when I say downhill, it's not the fact that I did not want to be a mother, because let me preface this. I've always wanted to be a parent. I've always wanted to be a mom. That's like a non-negotiable in my life, God willing, I've always wanted that. And so I always felt like that's something that I could do. That's something that I wasn't afraid of. You know what I mean? So when I say like everything went downhill, my thoughts were not that I did not want to have a baby. It was the fact that I did not want to be pregnant. And I know like that's one and the same, but honey, it's not. Like, I would, if I could take somebody's baby and bring him home so he could spend the month, the week, the year, that's cool. Like, I'm fine with that. Even if it's my own baby, like, I'm not afraid of that. But being pregnant, terrifying. Like, everything about pregnancy just did not sound good to me at all. And honestly, up until a point, it really wasn't. So it was like my fears was really like, I wasn't tripping unless I psyched myself out, which I have done before. So I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But everything kind of went downhill. So I began to think about the body changes. And somebody like me, I like to keep kind of a routine. I like to keep things kind of the way they're supposed to be, right? And change, especially big change with no control over the situation, I don't handle it super well, but I just quietly try to grin and bear it, right? When it came to the body changes, I am terrified of gaining weight. Not regular weight, because my weight fluctuates 10 pounds up and down like every other month. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. But gaining 25, 35, 40 pounds during a pregnancy, never experienced that before. I was terrified. I was so scared of my feet swelling, stretch marks, gaining all this weight, breast growth. My boobs have been the same size for like 5 years. Okay, after my last growth spurt, when I was like 18, 19. And I'm cool with it. I'm getting used to it. Like I have my bras, I have my stuff that I like to wear. I know what my boobs are doing, you know, and now they're gonna change. Now my nipples are gonna look different. What if I get veins? What if I get, it was insane. I could not handle the idea of all these body changes. And I'm like, okay, people say your nose swells during pregnancy. I'm like, oh my God, my nose is already big. I'm gonna look so ugly. And then I'm like thinking, okay, if I'm early pregnancy right now and it's March, that means I'm going to be pregnant in the summertime. And so then my mind goes to, I'm going to be such a fat pig in the summer, and I'm just going to be sweating everywhere and my cankles and this and that. I was the dramatics, but it was like, that is exactly where my mind went. I was so fearful of the body changes and of the things that were potentially going to affect me during pregnancy. Not once did the actual baby cross my mind, because like I said, I was cool with the baby part. Like I've always wanted a child and or children. So I just did not want to be pregnant. I don't know if I always thought I was going to get a surrogate or adopt or whatever, but when I tell you, I was freaking out. So I'm going over all the body changes in my head. And then, you know, I start to think a little bit more positively, like, okay, well, my hair is going to grow, my nails are going to grow, my skin's going to be beautiful, right? Which was a lie. My skin is the worst that it's ever been. It's finally on the mend. Don't let them hormones fool you. Some things are going to get better, some things are going to get worse. But typically, when you drop the baby, everything kind of levels back out. So it's just a crazy process of everything changing, and you don't know which way it's going to go. And the whole time I'm so scared to gain all this weight. Yet the first thing I did when I got pregnant was lose 25 pounds because I was so sick. It's like you couldn't even put that in my mind that that was a possibility for that to happen. So it's wild. Like it's just unpredictable. And I think that is what was scaring me so much, because I mean, at the end of the day, when you get pregnant, the prediction, the end all be all is that the baby is gonna come. God forbid anything happens, you know, at the end of the 9 months. So I was already cool with that. It was everything building up to that. I could not handle it. So after the body changes, I start to think about how my life is going to change. And it was not the fact that my life was going to change with the baby. It was the fact that I was pregnant today, so I could not have a drink with my dinner tonight. I could not eat my sushi. I couldn't eat my Jimmy John's. I had to be so careful with medications and things like that, and everything that you put into your body, drinking enough water, taking all your vitamins, doing all this and that. And it's like, that's not even anything crazy, but it's just the simple fact, when you get pregnant, you don't realize, unless of course you've been pregnant before, you don't realize that you have to think about everything. And it's not like you have to obsess about everything, like, oh my God, what am I gonna eat? Like, what am I gonna do? It's not like that. But it's just like, when you pick something up, it flashes through your mind real quick, okay, I can eat this. When you go do something, put in your mind real quick, okay, this is gonna be safe, right? And it's weird because as a 23-year-old, I found out right before I was turned 24, as a 23-year-old, I have never had to live like that. And so I'm just thinking about, I can't go to the club with my friends when they come home because they're at college. And I'm like waiting for them to come home in the next couple months. I can't go to the club. I can't do this and that. I was pissed. I'm like, I can't have too much sugar. I can't drink. And I love to have a cocktail. I love to have a margarita. And I had a margarita. I was mad. I was mad, okay? I was bitter. I was like, oh, this stuff's gonna change. And I'm so pissed off. And it just freaked me out, the level of things that could potentially happen, whether they went wrong, whether they went right. The whole next 9 months was going to be a mystery, except for what happens on labor delivery, which is a mystery too. But it's like, that's pretty much all that I knew. You know what I mean? So I started thinking about the restrictions of food and lifestyle. And so the food, I was bummed, but it wasn't the end of the world. But lifestyle, it definitely hit me a little bit harder. So again, 23, 24 years old, you know, thinking about going to the club, going on vacations, doing all this and that. And I just could not prioritize that anymore. So that was another thing about my birthday. You know, I was bummed about that because, you know, I wanted to pop out. Like, I hadn't been out in a really long time and the weather was starting to turn, and I was feeling like it was finally going to be all good, and then bam, you're pregnant. So I felt like, you know, I couldn't be in crowds, I couldn't go overseas, I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do, that I had aspired to do this year once the weather got warm and stuff like that. And then I just started to get like hella anxiety to even be outside, period. It was a weird situation because I'm like, well, what if I get into a car accident? These are my initial thoughts. Like, of course, some of these thoughts followed me along the way, but it's like, what if I get into a car accident? Like, what if I go overseas and I get sick? What if I go on a cruise and I get sick or something like that? Like, it was crazy how many thoughts that went through my mind. And they're all valid points. I mean, I know I was tripping. But I mean, I had to mourn for a second. Like, everything was going to change. There were so many different possibilities that just plopped themselves down as soon as I saw that positive test. And I've never had an experience in my life like that. So it really, really took a lot of adjusting to. So those were really my initial thoughts. I feel like I just kind of had to mourn for the unpredictability of everything that was going to come next. But never, I mean, the baby literally did not cross my mind. The fact that the baby was gonna come home with me, you know, that I would be growing a baby. Like, the baby was separated from my whole mindset. It was just the pregnancy that was like, I was just completely fearful. So I think that was pretty much it. Other than, okay, this was a big one too, is how to tell people. So my boyfriend, we lived together, so he was like literally in the bedroom while I was in the bathroom and this was happening. Zero fear to tell him. None. I knew he was gonna be so happy and supportive, and I knew, you know, he was gonna listen to whatever I had to say and we were gonna go from there, right? When it came to like telling my friends and family, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was terrified. I was kind of horrified, and it's not because I thought they would have a negative reaction. It's not at all. And I mean, my friends and I, super close. We don't talk all the time, but we're like super close. You know, that type of friendship, I didn't have no problem telling them or thinking about telling them, right? I just didn't necessarily know what they were going to say, but I knew they were going to be supportive. But when it came to like my family, my parents and I haven't always had the perfect relationship. It's so much better now. And I feel like everything is just like perfect. So changing something, throwing in something like, I'm pregnant, you're gonna be first time grandparents, I feel like that's huge. So I was so fearful of telling them, not because I thought they were gonna have a negative reaction, just because they're parents. Like, they're gonna ask me questions like, what are you guys gonna do about this and that? And I didn't have any answers. And of course, this is the first 5 minutes of me taking the test. I had time to think about all that. But it didn't stop me from being afraid to tell my parents. So I actually told them on my birthday, so March 28th, about a month from when I found out. They were super supportive, which I knew they were going to be. But it's just like that initial anxiety of all the possibilities, everything positive, negative that can happen when you get knocked up. So it was freaky. Like, it was a surreal experience. So anyway, those are all my initial thoughts. So I went and told my boyfriend. This was like less than 3 or 4 minutes that all of this happened. I left out the bathroom, went to tell my boyfriend, and you know, he's asking me how do I feel, and it's just like, I wasn't smiling, but I wasn't, you know, upset. I wasn't crying either. I was just kind of level. And I pretty much straight up told him, like, I really don't know. Like, I want to be a mom. That's all that I do know. But I don't know if I want to be pregnant. And I mean, realistically, I am pregnant. 20 weeks. It's been crazy. But it was an adjustment. Like, just seeing and hearing that news in that moment was an adjustment for sure. But we're past all of that. I have nothing but like good vibes and positive thoughts about this now. But I mean, it was a rocky situation to get up to that point. But at the end of the day, no matter what, when I picked the test up, I never had a thought of I wanted to terminate the pregnancy or anything like that. Like, I wanted the baby. I wanted the baby to come. I wanted the baby to be here. I wanted my child because I have always wanted a child. I didn't feel like the timing was ideal, but I also didn't feel like it was something that my partner and I couldn't handle. So that was a big factor in it, the fact that I knew I had support from at least one person. I knew his family would be very supportive as well. And I knew in my mind that my family would be equally supportive, if not more. But it was just like, thinking about how to tell them and this and that, it was a lot. But everything worked out. Everything has been working out, and the baby is happy and healthy, and so is mommy. So we've come a long way, you guys. But I just wanted to let you know my initial thoughts, because I see, like, I be on Reddit and I be on a couple forums and stuff like that, and I see a lot of people that talk about mom guilt and things of that nature. They say that more so like after your kid comes, but it's just like, I see so many people struggling with the fact, like, I can't connect to my baby while I'm pregnant, or, you know, I hate being pregnant and all this type of stuff. And some people are really supportive and they say it's okay, like, things get better. And some people are really not, and they judge you, and they're like, you know, there's people that can't have kids, you're ungrateful and this and that, and how dare you say this. And I'm just like, honey, I understand that, but at the end of the day, you got to speak your truth, and things are hard. This stuff is not easy. Even if you have the easiest pregnancy in the world, no complications, whatever, like, it takes a mental toll on you. Even if you're so happy about everything that's happening, it's like, it still changes you. It's a life-changing experience, you know? And I think I'm well within my rights to be scared. I think I was well within my rights to mourn my old self, you know? And I say mourn my old self, but it's like nothing really changed that much. But when you think about it, I was just so dead set on the fact that I had to lay myself to rest. Like, now it was time to do everything differently. And I think that's a good and a bad thing, because it opens your mind up to the fact that things are going to change. So you have to be ready for that. But you also have to be open to changing things. Like, you don't want things to just change and you have to just roll with the punches. Yes, that does happen, but it's better to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So if you open your mind up to say, okay, I'm gonna have to make certain changes in my life, I can be happy about it, I can be sad about this, and I can just go and live. Like, I feel like that's such a better situation than just trying to survive. So when I first found out I was pregnant, I was in survival mode. I was super bummed for a second. And it was just because of the fact that I was pregnant, not because of the fact that I was going to be a mother. So it might not be two different things, but in my mind it was. At the end of the day, I am super excited for this baby. This is a very, very, very wanted baby. It was a semi-wanted pregnancy, but that's gonna be like my running gag. I did not want to be pregnant, but I wanted a baby. And that's just that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that resonated with you, because I really do be feeling bad when people try to guilt trip these women that say that this is not easy, or this is not ideal, or this is not everything that they would have hoped for. Like, it's a big experience. So that's why I'm documenting this journey, to share with all of you guys that might be going through the same thing or have gone through the same thing. So thank you again for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.